So just made it to the top of Mount Greylock here, and there's a cool tower here. I think it's some sort of war memorial. Gonna check it out. Let's see. Oh, it's not open till 9:30 a.m. That's unfortunate. Well, there were definitely some good view spots. There's a good viewing area over here, so we'll go check that out. Nice view out to the east here, and there's a town down there which is Adams, Massachusetts actually. And so yeah, pretty nice spot up here on Greylock. A little unfortunate that I can't go up into the memorial tower there, and I'm definitely not going to sit here for over an hour, since I do have to get to my resupply. So I actually dropped off my pack up here because I thought the AT didn't go. I thought the sign said the AT went off to the side and didn't go right up to the peak, but have to put the pack back on and walk back up to the peak there so I can get the full official miles on the AT. Bear. So just saw my first bear on the trail. You probably saw the video. It's not a super great video, but hopefully you can see it some. I was actually on my phone looking at the map while I was walking, and then I heard it and I looked up and it was like definitely only like 10 or 20 yards from me when I first saw it. So I was like a tiny bit frightening at first, but like it honestly didn't really even act like it noticed me. Like it was just kind of ambling along and kind of walked away from me, but not like directly away from me, slowly. So pretty exciting. I definitely wanted to see a bear, but in a way that was not hazardous for sure. So glad to say that happened. Just a few miles out from the town of Cheshire, Massachusetts, which the trail goes basically through. It's a pretty small town. I don't think there's really much around there. And then I think there's like maybe definitely less than 10 miles after that to Dalton, where I'm getting my resupply at the post office. So almost all the way through Cheshire, and there was a kid with a lemonade stand right along the street where the trail went by. So stopped and got a lemonade and a brownie, $1 a piece. So I thought those prices were pretty good, and figured I'd take advantage. So that was a good experience. I think I got about 3 hours now, maybe a little bit less if I can go quick to Dalton. But I do know there is some about 1,000 feet of climbing here in a few miles, so maybe it'll be a little more than 3 hours. We'll see. Walking down the street here in Dalton, Massachusetts, and just a quarter mile away from the famed Tom Lavardi's house. I think he lets hikers camp in his yard sometimes. I'm just gonna stop there and say hi. I think he lets people use bikes as well, so I might try to use one of those to go to the post office and into town a little bit. So I made it through Dalton and I'm back in the woods here. Just a few miles before Dalton, as I was coming into town, I passed a few Nobos that said they had seen a SOBO just a mile or so ahead of them, just a little bit, or ahead of me. So I figured it was this guy, Bog Balls, that I had been hearing about for probably close to 10 days now. And it turns out he stopped at this little ice cream shop in town. Just about 1/10 of a mile before where I stopped at this guy Tom Lavardi's place. And he just is a super nice guy that lets hikers hang out in his yard, lets them camp in the yard, and he'll let you refill your water and stuff like that. And he has bikes to borrow, so I stopped at his house and I was gonna borrow one of his bikes and ride, half mile into town to the post office. But since this Bog Balls guy stopped at the ice cream store, I got to Tom's house first. And so he said I was the first SOBO southbounder that he met. And because of that, he gave me an ice cream cone himself. And it was like homemade ice cream in a waffle cone. It wasn't like some store-bought stuff, so that was really good. And then a few minutes later, this other SOBO guy came in and we were chatting a little bit. And it's funny because I've been hearing his name, but he hasn't heard my name at all because he's ahead of me. So all the Nobos that pass me already passed him and can't tell him. So that was kind of lucky on my part. And then I went into town to the post office, got my package, and I stopped at this sub shop, got a Philly cheesesteak. And by the time I got back, this Bog Balls guy was gone. So he's probably gonna push past the shelter I'm going to, because I have like less than 3 miles left today. So he's probably like, oh, this guy's trying to catch me. But I think we're both planning to be in the same town on Saturday to get our resupply. So we'll see what happens from there. I'm not going to do anything special to try to like beat him or anything, but just gonna stick to the plan basically. After today, I'll still be technically a day behind plan, and I hope to catch that up in the next week or two. And then after that, just stick to the plan. So if he wants to race, he can do that. I'm just gonna stick to the plan. But I did start like a full week ahead of him, or a week behind him, and I caught up by day 29 basically. So we'll see what happens. In the tent tonight, pretty good day at 26.1 miles today. There's a number of people at the campsite shelter tonight, and there's a trail magic guy named Bacon Wrap here. He basically goes around New England doing trail magic during the summer. So there's a road about less than half a mile from here, so he parks his truck there, and then he's staying at the shelter tonight, and then gonna be making like breakfast stuff in the morning and then like other food throughout the day. But that's north of here, so I already passed it, unfortunately. But he did bring some snacks up to the campsite, and he gave me a Yoo-hoo, which is like a chocolate milk drink in a can. It's not like actual milk, but it's like syrupy, chocolatey drink, so that was pretty good. I actually felt pretty full and kind of stuffed after eating dinner today, so maybe shouldn't have eaten that sub earlier, but feeling better now, and I'm sure I'll be fine tomorrow. So not much else to report except that I'm now officially caught up from 2 days behind to 1 day behind my plan. In terms of miles, I'm really only behind like 14 miles behind the 22 mile per day average, but that's kind of like a full day based on my plan, so hoping to catch it up all the way back to 0 days behind within the next week or two, and keep going from there.